What's up, world? This is WeNeeda5th. This your man Mo. Got my man Hill in the building.
Yo, yo.
Got my man P on the screen.
What up? What up?
Fellas, whew, tough couple of days. The legend, the man, the basketball player, the GOAT, Bill Russell passed away yesterday evening at the age of 88. Just want to, for our fans, our younger fans, younger listeners who don't really know Bill Russell's resume or his NBA resume, just want to give you a few facts. He played 13 seasons in the NBA. He gave you was in the finals 12 times. He won the finals 11 times, 11-time champion, 5-time MVP, 12-time All-Star. Was the first Black coach in any professional sports or major sports in America. Was also the second all-time leading rebounder. Gave you 21,620 rebounds over his career. Someone who responsible for starting one of the first integrated summer basketball camps while he was playing. Bill Russell. Fellas, I know for me personally, I no longer consider any GOAT conversation legitimate without Bill Russell's name being mentioned. If his name is not mentioned, we're not having a serious conversation. That's where I'm at now. You guys know I've always been a big fan of Bill Russell and always tooted his horn as far as, hey, how great he was. But as he has passed and, the stories come out about the man he was, I'm even more impressed. And yeah, we lost a good one.
Great one.
Yeah, without question, one of the greatest to ever do it. Great basketball player, great man. I mean, these are all reminders. Like, I already knew about all these, pretty much all the stories that I'm hearing about, but it just reinforces what a great player, what a great, great basketball player, great civil rights activist that he was. Just legendary in every sense of the word. Like, sometimes that word is used too lightly when people call people great or legends, but this is definitely fitting for this for Bill Russell, definitely.
He's the reason, for me, he's the reason why there's more comfortability for someone like me to critique other sports players and other entertainers in this medium for the grunt work which he did. I'm not trying to compare veterans in the war, but the sacrifices that a veteran would do as a man of this man's civic duty, which he felt to do outside of basketball, and even playing, when you find out more about his story, what he had to endure, and why I can just come on, like I said, and criticize people without even worrying. He went through all the pains and hardships of making it easy. You know what I mean? So I, for one, took Bill Russell for granted in his basketball game, but more so the person who he was. You know what I mean? And why so many NBA players loved him and for what it stood for. And I really never understood it. And it's unfortunate, I can say until today, until I did my research. And we always touch upon it on this show is young kids do your research. Well, old man had to do his research today and really understand the greatness of Bill Russell. So yeah, duh, the proof's in the pudding for 11 championships. So that should have been easy. But what he did outside of basketball, that wasn't easy. You know what I mean? For him to have that smile on up until 88, it speaks volumes to the man Bill Russell is. And my condolences to the family, my condolences to his children, to his wives, to people that know him and love him. It's with light heart do I say, yeah, we lost a great one yesterday, you know? So, I mean, we can touch on the stats. We can touch on everything he's done outside. But I think this man deserves his due, definitely, on this show. So, guys, actually, take time with this one. Enlighten me. I'll come up with some stuff that I heard, which was like, wow. But, yeah, Bill Russell should be involved in every person's GOAT conversation, simply for the attributes that y'all see on paper, but then going in a little deeper on what he sacrificed for his career on and off the court. So I just let y'all go.
Pete, go ahead.
Yeah. I agree with everything both you guys said. Definitely one of the GOATs, one of the greatest of all time. I mean, you can't, I don't know how you, to argue he's not one of the GOATs, you pretty much have to discredit an entire era of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the 60s were anything, part of history of basketball, then he was the guy of his era. With all due respect to the late great Will Chamberlain, but those were the two guys of that era. I mean, they dominated in different ways and had obviously different results. One was statistically dominated, and one dominated by winning. So I think I understand because it's fresh on our mind. We're going to give Bill Russell his due flowers and everything, but I think him and Will Chamberlain, I think they will forever be in the conversation. The greatest basketball players ever.
And I think, especially for our younger listeners, just got to realize Bill Russell was the ultimate team professional. One of his quotes, I believe, is, "Hey, it's not about how great you can be as an individual; it's about how great you can allow your teammates to be as an individual." Hey, his whole philosophy was about, hey, it's not about how I can score and rebound and all that good stuff. It's about how I can allow my game and my greatness to allow Bob Cousy to be great, to allow my other teammates to be great in their role, and be able to pick them up and allow them to reach another level that they may not have realized they had in them. And that was one of his big things, is that, hey, that's how you establish greatness. It's like, hey, how can I help my teammates be the best that they can be? And he's the precursor to a Draymond Green. Someone that, hey, when you look at the stat lines, it might not automatically jump out at you. It might not automatically impress you. But if you saw him play, you saw him in those championship moments, you know that he has an impact on the game. He has an impact on winning. And that was Bill Russell's main thing was, hey, how do you impact winning? How do you make your teammates better so that you guys can win? He was all about winning. And he was the ultimate winner. Ultimate teammate, team first type of person. And was so cerebral with the game of basketball. One of the only player in NBA history to coach and play at the same time and capture a championship. And he did it twice as a player coach. So he has to be considered one of the greatest of all time. His basketball resume is just too stacked, in my opinion, to be left out of that conversation. And then when you get into his work off the court and what he was able to do, and how he was able to pave the way for future generations, legendary seems inadequate at times in describing him. But he was a trailblazer. He was a true hero in the sense of the word.
For me, he answered the riddle which I always argued since I've read up on Bill Russell, and not studied. I should make that known. Read up on. I looked at the stats; they went eye-popping. Rebounds, yes. Points, no. And the riddle was answered simply. The fact of me doing the research was, why didn't he average 30 and 24? And the answer was because he didn't want to. I always had it that he couldn't.
Mm.
And now I found out to myself is that he didn't want to. So that brings him up higher on my goal level, because he had all the tools to do so. You say Draymond Green, I have him the precursor to Tim Duncan before. So wherever you have pre-Duncan, wherever you have Duncan as, he's better than that.
Yeah.
So, but I know to most people that's probably like a duh, but I didn't have that before. You know what I'm saying? So off the court, I mean, this is a person who grew up in the time of, when he was younger, the Klan flourishing. You know what I mean? Going through that time. He grew up going through San Francisco and then coming over to Boston, in which he had his moments with that city, to say the least. And this man still had a smile on his face. You know, it says a lot about Mr. Russell, which I don't know that I would be able to do, you know? So, all that other talk of not having him in your top five, I mean, I know it's a day late and it's fresh, but people just go out there and check up on Mr. Russell, what he did outside of the basketball court, and then have some fun what he did on the basketball court. This man needed his flowers. He got them, but now for me, it's just post-mortem, and it kind of sucks, you know?
Mm-hmm. P, you got any?
Yeah, I mean, we could go all day. I understand, as you know, growing up playing basketball, I'm with the scorers. I'm a scorer, and I just think people have to realize Bill Russell was great, but it was like an unusual greatness that we're used to. It wasn't scoring. I know people say, well, statistically, he wasn't that dominating. I've never seen a player average 15 and 20 in a season. He did that for his career. Mm-hmm. I've just never seen it, so it can't be easy. it can't be easy. You know what I mean? So, I know he gets some Draymond, Dennis Rodman, Ben Wallace comparisons. He could do everything those guys did, but he was actually a better scorer than all three of those guys.
Much better scorer. Just
statistically, he just is. Yeah, none of those guys. I don't even know if any of them even average double figures. So, not only was he the precursor, it's almost like reverse. You know what I mean? It's almost like they came before him and he improved what they did. Like they've never caught up to what he did in the 60s, to be honest. If you really want to call it. Imagine if Dennis Rodman could get you double figures, or Ben Wallace could get you double figures, or Draymond was a shot blocker. Great defender, we know that. But so I think he's pretty much all three of those guys and then some. And I don't think that's hyperbole. I don't think that's emotions. I think that's just me looking at a basketball player and seeing his skill set.
Southpaw. He's a better offensive player than Timmy Dunk, though.
Yeah, and what I really appreciate about him is he talked team first, and you actually see it on the court where hey, he can score if he wanted to, but he realized, like I said, getting his teammates involved, getting them going, and getting them running and rolling was more beneficial to the team than anything else. And yeah, I can really appreciate that. Definitely.
And I think that's what I'm starting to accept now is that the 15 and 24 is I have to put my mind to it's easily 30 and 24. I watch highlights. I was looking, I'm like, my God, San Francisco highlights, Boston highlights. It was so easy and it's fluid, his movement. He can go coast to coast off a rebound, a finger roll from the free throw line. It's like, wait a minute. I didn't know that. I should have known that. And I love basketball. You know what I mean? And it was it just my bias of looking at stats and saying, I'm not going to look into a person from 15, 24, how good could he have been? I should have. I want to know now, I'm like, what would have been Bill Russell unleashed and unlocked? But that's not his game, and I get it. But watching all the highlights, what I've done, he has a beautiful game.
Yeah,
well,
no, go ahead, Mo.
No, go ahead.
No, just it's just interesting. People sometimes get on Wilt Chamberlain like, oh, he just padded stats. He didn't care about winning. So if you go that route, you have to love Bill Russell. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you say, oh, he didn't sacrifice all it, like what everybody says they want out of a basketball player, where ultimately you're out here to win a game. That's Bill Russell.
Yeah.
That's if the goal is to win the game, and you want a player whose main goal is not to put up stats, not to do this, not to do that, but to win the game and win championships, it's Bill Russell.
In that case, why is he? I mean, or maybe he is, and I'm just late to the game. Then why is he not seen as top 3 in the game? Then it's obvious. Then.
Personally, we'll get into some probably at a later date. I think I got him.
Yeah,
and I got him right before Wilt. Next week I might have Wilt, but you know what I mean. Like I got Jordan, and it took Bron a while. I got Bron, and then I got Russell. My dad's influence and everything goes along with it. But I mean, 11 championships in 13 years. What else do you want?
Maybe Jordan Russell.
And to give you a little bit more to it, not only 11 championship in 13 years, P, but you know what? I'm going to coach one of these teams and give you a championship. Yeah. I'm going to coach 2 of these teams to get to the finals. And then I'm going to drop the mic and leave.
Yeah, if the ultimate goal in the championship, not even LeBron Hill, I mean, it's blasphemous for me, but if the goal is to win a championship, he won the most championships.
Russell Jordan.
Yeah, and the only reason I have Jordan LeBron over him, again, it's the scorer mentality bias that I have. That's pretty much it. If he averaged like 20, 25, I'd probably say he's the GOAT.
That's what I'm saying. So, but he could have what I'm seeing right now. So my whole thing is, Russell might have been legitimately the best basketball player of all time.
Yeah, he should be in the conversation.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, and I think to your point, Hill, it goes to what we want. Hey, do we want the team first guy who's willing to see, how I could sacrifice to make Kuzi or Havlicek better so that, hey, we can get more championships? Or do you want the guy that, hey, can physically dominate the game? You know what I mean? And that's basically where, hey, Jordan was. Hey, he was able to physically dominate the game through his talent and skill level. And even with his teammates, he dominated them to be what he needed them to be.
Mhm.
It wasn't kumbaya, you know what I mean? Whereas, hey, Bill Russell is, hey, listen, all of y'all come here. I'm gonna bring y'all all here, and I'm gonna raise everybody up. And which I'm calling, and I'm willing to sacrifice to get you up a little bit higher. I'm willing to not score to get you going. What do we want that team first person, or do we want the uber skilled, uber talented, hey, like I said, can physically dominate the game and nobody can stop them? But it's I'm gonna dominate the game and dominate my teammates, and they better come along with me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to, hey, I'm gonna lift all sinking ships. You know, and I think, hey, we Americans in particular, hey, we like the dominant force. We like we as much as, hey, people want to complain about our Golden State, like with KD when they had KD and stuff like that. Hey, at the end of the day, we like that stuff. And that teammate narrative, the ultra teammate, the one that can sacrifice for the good of the team,
Mhm.
that narrative gets pushed to the side.
Hmm.
Yeah, uh, at least
I need to
that's my
reevaluate my list.
perception of it.
I need to reevaluate my list.
Uh,
Not even reevaluate. I need to redo it. Period.
yeah, yeah. Hey, hit us up on social media. Let us know what you guys think. Hit us up on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Discord. Let us know what you think. Let us know what are some of your Bill Russell moments or stories that you've heard of from your family, friends, and also want to send another rest in peace to Bill Russell again. Passed away yesterday at the age of 88. Fellas, NFL.
Hmm.
Deshaun Watson. Punishment was recently handed down. I believe a former federal judge, was part of this process. It
Right.
was a third party judging and making the decision on his punishment. It looks like he's going to be suspended for 6 games. Um, no financial fines, no fines at all. The NFLPA and Deshaun Watson, they will not be appealing this decision, so they'll let it stand as is. The NFL has 3 days from today to submit a written appeal if they want to appeal this decision. A lot of people think that they will appeal this decision. I think the NFL is looking for more of a year-long suspension
Goodell
for
still has
this.
some word on this.
Yeah, he can appeal it. Um, he has 3 days to make up his mind on whether or not he wants to appeal it. Once he makes that appeal, it will either be Roger Goodell making the decision or a designee that Roger Goodell appoints.
So what was the point of the third party then?
This was part of, I think, part of the new deals with the CBA as far as the Players Association wanted the NFL, the league itself, to kind of separate itself or to kind of take out all the power as far as making judgment calls or decisions like this out of Roger Goodell's head and put it into a third party's hand who could be more of a neutral observer or neutral party as far as they're not incentivized to protect the shield or protect the player either way, and I think that's some of their disappointment with the decision that's been handed down. This judge didn't pay attention to any of the precedent that the NFL, the league, has made in the past in dealing with previous situations. She didn't pay attention to that. She just looked at the collective bargaining agreement as far as, hey, what punishment she can dole out and stuff like that, and looked at the facts of the case. And she came up with 6 games. And I don't know if the NFL is going to be satisfied with that as far as what they want the league to, the perception of the leagues cracking down on Deshaun Watson for something. This is going to be a sticky situation for the NFL, I believe.
Especially since the man's been indicted twice, and none of them has been able to stick.
So what you're saying is they're going to push for more games.
Yeah.
So then what's the point? Like,
why go through this? It's like double jeopardy. Well,
you're doing it.
I think they're going to.
It's just for show.
But I think, Pete, and not to cut you off, I'm sorry. I think if the NFL does appeal this, I think they're gonna have issue with the NFL Players Association. And I think that's why I say it's gonna get sticky, in the sense that I don't think it's gonna be as easy as them saying, oh no, we don't like this decision, we're gonna give them this decision, and everybody go home and stew about it. Okay. I don't think it's going to be that simple for the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I haven't followed the story, too closely. I'm not exactly Mr. NFL for various reasons, but okay.
Yeah. And also in the story, to your point, Hill, 2 grand juries have refused to indict him. And at least 20 women were included in those grand jury trials, as far as trying to figure out whether criminal charges would be pressed against him. I know he settled with 23 of the 24 women. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one for the NFL. I know that they want the image of them caring about how their players treat women, and I think this punishment doesn't fit their view, their idea of what that's supposed to look like. It's not supposed to look like just 6 games. I think once they do appeal it, a lot of things are going to come out in the open. Like, hey, Cleveland, what were you guys thinking when his base salary for this year is, I think, $1 million, but he was signed a guarantee, a signing bonus of like 35, and you only do that because you anticipate that he's going to get fined, and you don't want, you know what I mean, and you don't want him to lose a lot of money from his base salary, because next year's base salary is $45 million.
Yeah, I know.
In the years after that is 40 and 35. So it's like, wow, that's a can of worms in itself right there. So be interesting to see how this shakes out.
Yeah. I mean,
it's a tough. This is a tough situation, because you have someone that's professed their innocence from day one.
Mm-hmm.
He's professed, and anybody he gets in front of says, hey, he didn't do anything wrong. You have 2 grand juries that refuse to indict him on criminal charges for doing something wrong. Yet you have him and the Texans settling with these women. So it gives the impression that something happened. And with the numbers that we're talking about, you can't just write it off as, hey, someone's lying on him trying to set him up. With 24 women, one of them, all of them can't be lying, or that's the assumption.
Where there's smoke, there's some fire.
Yeah. And
We just don't know what the fire is or where it's at.
yeah, basically.
So how are you
But
going
we
to
can
make a
smell it.
judgment? How you going to make a judgment and call on something which you don't know about? You're just making an assumption to,
Yeah.
you know, to be judge, jury, and execution on the guy. I get public opinion, but if you just don't know, but you're sniffing something, something's there. Like I'm not going to. It's something.
And I believe.
Yeah,
And I
it's
believe.
something to being a serial masseuse dude, though. Yeah, it's something to that, bro.
And the judge even put something to that effect in her decision. It's a couple of pages. And she even mentions that, hey, he should only be receiving massages from a team of approved masseuse. He shouldn't be doing it on his own anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Like it could be at your.
That's part of the decision.
I thought you could have it at your house, which he was having at his house, but having numerous women come do it. And I'm like, why not have a team sanctioned one or someone that's just doing it that's there all the time, your regular one? So when they kept changing women, I said, oh, seems a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, I don't know. And right now, all it is weird. I don't know the extent of what it could have happened, didn't have, not sure. So I can't really speak on that. But just, I mean, just the sheer numbers is just a little uncomfortable. But
at the least.
With that being said, Roger, to me, doesn't have much where he can go on if he hasn't been twice they tried.
Mm-hmm.
It'll set a new precedent, but a little creepy.
Yeah, definitely.
Little bit.
And fellas, I know I kind of skipped over it, but I kind of want to go back, especially since I see we got a little time here. I want to go back to basketball. Some of the trade rumors that I've been hearing about, and Hill, I know you're gonna get on me about this. I'm gonna bring it up, but KD, the last trade rumor I heard, and I just want to get you guys' opinion on it, especially since we were just talking about the late great Bill Russell and the Boston Celtics. KD for Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, and I think
maybe Grant Williams or the point guard and 3 picks.
Mm-hmm. Would you do that?
No.
No.
For either one.
And usually
if I'm Brooklyn, absolutely.
Yeah, usually that's like an over. Yeah, usually I'm all for getting a star. I don't care about the draft picks because I don't think they're gonna amount to anything. Just give me the star player in the trade. Not in this case. Brooklyn, we're better than you.
Yes.
We're not even. You're Sundula. Like you're not. We're looking at Golden State. That's our competition.
Brooklyn, I don't know what's the problem. People said they needed a point guard. They picked up Brogdon. Run it back.
I thought it was an excellent pickup. If I'm Boston, I'm straight.
I'm
straight.
Gallinari, stretch 4, okay, shoot, no defense. I get it, but someone people can penetrate and kick out to.
Because you're gonna have KD, Tatum, and what?
Nothing. He strips team. Nothing.
You're gonna be Northern Brooklyn now. This is like having Kyrie and Durant. You saw how that worked out for you.
Wow.
And that's not knock on Durant. Durant, top 5 player in the NBA, one of the top 5 players.
Wow.
Yes, but
kind of sounds like a knock on Durant, yo.
No, I don't think Durant equals all of those players. Individually, he's better than all of them. He's better than everybody on Boston. And I've seen Tatum outplay whatever. Durant's better than anyone on Boston. But I'm not giving up all those. He's not better than all those players combined.
Okay.
And to me, that's an indictment on Kevin because you say to yourself, all right, every team was vying for LeBron when he was a free agent, not 4 years. Let's say LeBron during that time of free agency after Miami, in which if you would have put LeBron on Orlando, they're a contender because
got a chance.
Yeah, that's LeBron. That's not Kevin Durant, and I accept that. I get it.
It's been proven.
But
like
people don't understand that part of it.
If you get LeBron, maybe that now, but if you get
Not
LeBron
now.
during the history of his career, 3 to 4 years, you're going to win a chip.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
You shouldn't know Boobie Gibson.
Right.
You just shouldn't.
Worst case scenario, you make the finals. And you shouldn't have made the finals.
No, you shouldn't know Dellavedova. You shouldn't know these people.
Faragel.
You shouldn't know him.
When did these guys retire? No one knows.
So if you telling me
Jamario Moon? Candace Parker's brother? Candace Parker's brother?
So if you were right, so my whole thing is if you're saying no because of the restricted team, it'll just be him and Tatum. That should be more than enough.
Yeah.
LeBron won a championship with Kyrie. You got swept. So if you're telling me LeBron during that time, which KD is now, if you're telling me I'm going to trade whoever, Jaylen Brown, whatever, to match up LeBron James and Jason Tatum, I say you do it in a heartbeat. I don't care who he's playing with, him and Tatum. It doesn't matter. That's giving me closest to a chip as I ever seen. But no, I don't see that with him and Durant. It's a rough. It'll be a rough squad.
Yeah,
he has to push the needle as great as he is, and he is great beyond me. He's an all-time great. He's an assassin, but he doesn't push the individual meter for me. And I could be wrong, but that's the way I look at it with Kevin Durant. He's an enhancer. He's an enhancer to me.
Yeah, because I think even if Boston made that move, and I don't think it would be a good decision for them to make that move, to be honest. I think you still got that beast in Milwaukee that you got to get through. And I don't, even with Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum, I don't think they're going to be better than Giannis and Middleton.
But they should be, though.
That should be blasphemous to even think, you know, but skill-wise, it's not even competition. You know, KD and Jason Tatum should be the most skilled duo out there. But I just trust Giannis more as far as, hey, being able to dominate the game and take you to that next level as what you're alluding to with the LeBron James.
And it's kind of a big thing because you're having KD, Tatum, and Malcolm Brogdon.
Oh, yeah. Got a lot of it.
Bro, I seen KD, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I saw him play with 2 other MVPs. 2.
Who, Harden and Kyrie?
Harden at the same time. Harden and Westbrook. He played with 2 MVPs. These are his facts. Take it how you want to take it. These are all facts.
Yeah.
He played with 2 MVPs. I feel like this trade is like him going to Golden State, but Clay, Draymond, I don't know, name another guy, not being there. I don't know if KD and Steph win by themselves. Now, they have a chance. This is not enough, but I think just giving up too much. Just giving up too much.
Yeah.
Last thing, because I gotta mess with them. Your New York Knicks are being investigated for tampering with the Jalen Brunson deal.
Mm-hmm.
How they were probably the only ones in the market for Jalen Brunson. Everybody knew that they were the only ones in the market for Jalen Brunson. And y'all still managed to screw it up to where y'all get tampering charges?
Philly too. Philly getting tampering charges too.
Only the Knicks, yo.
Yeah, Harden. Yeah.
But at least that but hell, at least that makes a little bit more sense for me with the Harden thing, because it's temporary charges because of that contract. Like, oh, did y'all have that wink? Jalen Brunson, like, really? Like, how did you get in trouble
Language,
for this?
Mo.
They're desperate.
I'm sorry.
They're desperate. New York is desperate. That's why. They're desperate.
And then for Jalen Brunson, I'm not even gonna talk about Donovan Mitchell at this point, right? We're not even gonna talk about that with the Knicks right now, right?
No.
Because it looks like they're not moving on that for some reason. Go figure. Wow, the Knicks, yo.
This is the first time. This is actually the first I heard it. I mean, Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, temporary charges for Jalen Brunson.
Oh, good player.
For signing Jalen Brunson, yo.
Good player.
Really?
He's a good player.
He's a good player, but you're risking, you're getting tampering charges for Jalen Brunson, please? Really? That's what we're doing?
I'm not gonna risk it for that butter biscuit, man. I'm not risking it all for that.
Well, his dad's on the staff, right, in New York.
I think so. I believe so.
Yeah, his dad's on the staff.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Poor Jalen Brunson. I'm sorry. Knicks fan, you're killing me right now.
Big time.
Entertainment, fellas. Wakanda forever. Did y'all see the trailer? Please tell me y'all saw the trailer.
I saw the trailer.
P. Did you see the trailer? Wakanda forever.
Yeah, I saw it.
I'm not appreciating y'all energy right now. I feel like the energy should be a little bit higher for this. Like y'all saw it. Y'all wasn't excited. You're not excited for November to get around the corner.
Big fan of the first one. Shout out to Killmonger, my guy. Okay.
This I
like we talked off air. I never read the comic book, so maybe if you read the comic books, you could read into what's going to happen. I have no clue I don't understand where they're going.
All right.
I don't.
I'm gonna let you take over for this one, Mo. You know, I was lukewarm on the first one.
Nothing I
saw. Nothing I saw motivated me to watch this. The only reason I'm gonna watch this is because of the first one.
But this trailer did not do nothing for me.
I would just say this right now, right? This trailer, if you read the Black Panther comics,
which I did
if
not,
you read Marvel comics, you would be really excited about this. First thing first. This is going to be the second mutant in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that's introduced with Namor the Submariner. That was the little baby you saw in the trailer with the wings on his foot and whatnot. And that was the guy with the gold bracelets on his arms. That's the Kingdom of Atlantis. They're about to go to war with Wakanda. Kingdom of Atlantis is just like in DC Universe where, hey, their advanced technology, they're just like Wakanda, basically, in Marvel Universe. They're technologically advanced. They believe that, hey, they have an isolationist policy and whatnot. And if they wanted to, they could take over the world, just like Wakanda. Now, imagine these two nations discover each other and try to figure out who the top dog is going to be on the planet. That's what we're entering with Namor and Wakanda. I'm just saying. Also in the trailer, you got Ironheart, Riri Williams from the comic books. She's the young lady, young African-American lady in the comics that builds her own Iron Man suits and replaces him for a time. Fellas, as the official comic book nerd on this group, I'm beside myself. I'm almost speechless at this point. The only reason why I'm finding words is because I know you guys don't have any words for this because you're not matching my energy right now.
Yeah, right. But you explained why. You said if you read the comic book. I didn't read the comic book. So
I didn't know none of this.
I just saw people I never saw before. Don't know their purpose. Don't know if I need to know their purpose. And that's my ignorance of the comic books.
I don't know.
So
And then my thing,
Okay.
too is
Mhm.
you didn't appreciate the whole trailer setup. Like that trailer, the song "No Woman No Cry" with the Kendrick Lamar love interspoke. I would think as a producer yourself, P, that you would have enjoyed that part, the musical component of the trailer, and then the way they set up the scenes. Oh
I'm
my
a Bo-
gosh, that was
I'm a Bob Marley fan.
wow. We gotta go there, huh?
No, I am. I love Bob
Wow.
Marley. What a great stuff to do it.
Okay, so you couldn't appreciate the music of the trailer, the musicality of the trailer, how they interpose that with the visual that you were seeing?
No.
Wow. I'm talking to heathens now.
It was like it was I
Like,
I felt like it was okay. Mo, I'm trying to
and
kind of
you
like
and,
trying to
and
toe
you
the
would
line with
think
you,
that
Mo.
he's not a music producer, like he doesn't create beats, and you can't appreciate. Oh wow,
I try to
the
toe the line, Mo.
creativity.
So now I'm just gonna be honest. I thought they copy and paste like the Avatar thing. It's like this, like I just saw people coming from water. It was just,
Wow.
it
Are you
was,
serious right now, P?
who was
You
that?
gonna compare this to Avatar? Really,
No,
P?
the commercial. Yeah.
Oh,
Again, I'll admit I did not read the comic book, so I didn't get it. It's the characters that you saw, I didn't know who they were, so that meant nothing to me.
you know what?
Another off topic. Did Avatar the new one come out yet already or no?
Not yet.
Nah,
It's coming
no.
out. They just I think they released a like a teaser trailer for it.
I mean, not that I care because I ain't like the first one, but okay.
um, fellas, what's on the radar, man?
Getting ready for football.
Oh, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, get ready for the preseason. Now listen, I'm all Trey Lance in.
P, what's on the radar, yo?
Radar, just saw that shout out to Gillian Wallow, that $1 million worth of game interview with Mace. Very entertaining.
Nice.
On my radar, he'll put us on actually to the KD joint, point guards in New York City.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Definitely gonna watch that. Looks like a good watch.
On my radar, I just told Hill about this. I think I told you too, P.
Mhm.
Justice Served on Netflix, new series. Yo, it's fire. That's on the radar. Also, which we'll call it. Can't wait to get. I know a little far off. I can't wait to get back into preseason basketball. Get it back into the new season of NBA basketball. I can't wait for all this trade stuff to be done and over with. That's what's on the radar. Hey, when is Donovan going? How come we're not getting on Utah for not showing any type of loyalty to Donovan Mitchell? Hey, he's a young star in his prime, and you can commit to building a team around him. Commit to putting the pieces around to make him successful. But no, they quit on him and they're putting him on the trade block. But they get a pass. Whereas KD asks for a trade from a organization whose culture is questionable at this point, and he's crucified. Just want to see how this plays out. That's what's on the radar. Anything else, fellas? Hill?
He'll speechless after that one. Not at all.
Yo, it's been real.
As always.
Yes, sir.
Peace.